Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. How y'all doing? Hello, everybody. Hello, Potter. Hello. Nightmind. I am indeed the derriest of sighs. I am. I am. Hello, HQ Gamer. Hello, M0. Lankuri, you've probably already left, but hello anyway. Enjoy your vacation. I'm not late. I'd like to say I'm not late. Okay, no, I am late. I messed up time zones, okay? I put on the Hi, Sacred Lotus. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. How are you all doing today? Tell me how you're all doing today. So, I said that I was going to be streaming at 5:30 UTC +1, and I did my calculations wrong, and I meant 5:30 UTC, but I'm still 15 minutes late, so you know, it is what it is. So it's if I try and like, you know what? Actually, no. I'm just gonna use the magical girl powers. It was on time. You will perceive this as being on time now. Sorry, it's done. I'm sorry, I don't control it. Hi, Karma Komodo. The music reminds me of Naruto. I hear that. I hear that. Hi, Dead Hyperspace. Hello. I nearly said Head Diaper Space. That's concerning. Hello, hello. Hello, Richard. This music makes me feel like I'm standing at a cliff of a mountain, staring into the sunset. It kind of does. It kind of does, actually. I can hear that. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. Hello, Borg Sentinel. Is there a quack doctor? Is there a quack doctor? Incredible. There is indeed a quack doctor. It's me. You hit your funny bone, but I'm not laughing. What's wrong with me? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you just need to yes, you just need to I got nothing. I'm sorry. I'm not funny enough to think of something good. Hi Eric. Hi Miguel. Hello. How are you doing? And hi Moth. Hi. Go yap. I'm trying my best. I'm yapping. Doing good but pretty nervous. Oh no, why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? How about yourself? I'm okay. I'm okay. I've just finished work. I had a meeting. So that's why I, ran over a little bit because I forgot I had a meeting. And then I needed to go like process the fact that I'd had a meeting, if that makes sense, like process and come to terms with the fact that I had to socialize. But it was fine. It was fine. It was all good. I had a good day. I got some stuff done. Probably could have done more, but I'm kind of sleep deprived, so I think I did pretty good given the circumstances. Sacred Lotus, you're doing pretty well. I'm glad. Days mixed, was walking in the rain, thought of a lot of stuff, lost 2 hours of free time. Ooh. Walking in the rain's kind of nice though. I kind of like walking in the rain. It depends on the vibe though. Like, I think going out for a walk in any kind of weather, to be fair, but especially in the rain, it's like a really nice way to just like clear your head a little bit or like think things through. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it. I'm also a big fan of like walking and talking. Like if you need to talk about something complex, like going for a walk and talking about it while you walk, I like that too. I don't know, something about them moving, like there's probably some kind of process behind this, but there's something about the kind of like gentle movement that I think gets the brain moving. That that didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It gets you thinking about things a bit more clearly. Probably the distraction of the walking is what does it. Neither do I. I thought it was a decent setup, but sadly no punchline. I'm not good at puns or anything. I'm bad, actively bad at like jokes. So yeah, I got nothing. I uploaded additional for a streamer today and he's going to react to it on stream. That's so fun. I love that. An edit. Yeah. That's so fun. I love that for you. I hope that the reaction's a nice one because sometimes they're just like brutal. I hope it's a good one. Hi, Emperor Virgil. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I hope you're good. Sleeping stream soon? Absolutely not. I'm like a I don't know how else to like describe this, but I'm like that kind of sleeper. I'm not, no, not aesthetic, not good. Oh dear, oh dear. Meetings are always fun. They certainly are something, aren't they? No, this one was actually fine. It was nice because it was like the first team meeting that I've been to since I've started my new job. So I actually got to meet people that I've seen for a long time, like on chats, and I've never actually spoken to or never seen a face for them. So that's quite nice. But yeah, it was just kind of like running through things, and you know, it's fine. It's a meeting. I just like meeting people, you know. I like actually having a face to the names. Finished an obligatory online course at work and I'm absolutely abhorred. That is a mood. The online courses, oh, it really depends. It depends, man. They can be really interesting, but most of them don't seem to be. I'm quite lucky in that, like, the things that I do online courses for, I think they're normally things that I'm kind of enthusiastic about anyway. But if you're like in slightly the wrong mood, or like you're hungry or you're tired, you might as well just not do them. Like, there's no point in doing them. You don't learn any of it. It's really easy to just get distracted. It was a tropical rainstorm with wind hitting the face. Ooh, that does not sound like my kind of walking in the rain, to be honest. That's a bit too intense for me. Psydere is a walkie-talkie. You know what? Actually, no. But I'm sometimes a sleepy walkie. I'm a sleepwalker sometimes. I do that sometimes. Only when I'm really stressed, though. And I haven't done it for a while. But I do get up and like do entire things in my sleep sometimes. Going for a walk and listening to a chill or sad song hits different during the rain. It does. You know what's up. You know what's up. It really does. I'm doing good. It's good to find a fellow VTuber who's also a psych major as well. Oh my gosh, you're also a VTuber and a psych major. That makes me so excited. That makes me really happy. I found a few, but there aren't that many of us in the grand scheme of things. Like, considering how many people study psychology, you'd think that there'd be a lot more of an overlap. But yeah, it makes me really happy when I find somebody else that also does psychology. Although, like, I'm kind of like, I'm getting a bit too far along. Like, I'm in too deep at this point, which I'm going to be talking about a bit today, actually. I've made a presentation. Shock horror. I made a presentation for once. Let's go. Let's go. So what I'm going to be talking about today is actually, you know what? I'll wait a second. I'll introduce it when I bring up the presentation. Let's do that. Let's do that. Imagine Psydere meeting hack. If you don't send me a meeting agenda in writing, I'm not coming. Receives a meeting agenda. It covers all the questions within 15 minutes in one email. I actually do that though. Like, if I've got an agenda in advance, then I'm like, I might as well just write it all out in advance. And then that's exactly what I do. And then the meeting like speed runs. So like, I used to run like I used to lead a team. Like a, how can I describe it? I guess kind of like a research team, kind of similar to that. And when other people led it before me and the person I was co-leading with, it would take ages. Like, it'd be like a full 2-hour meeting, and we got it down to 45 minutes. So I'm not joking. I actually do that. Like, I don't want to waste time in a meeting. I'd rather just do the work rather than talk about it. I don't know. It makes me tired. Same. Or you know what it's like to be in too deep. Although I'd love to, okay, you don't have to say this in the chat. You can like message me if you want to, but I'd love to know like what your specialism is, like what area of psychology. I'd really like to know that, because it's a very diverse field. Yeah, I'd love to know. Psydere is too shy to interrogate other VTubers. Are you really a doctor or just a fraud without any merit to be called a doctor PhD? Are you a real doctor or are you a physician? Imagine being an MD, not a real doctor. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if I just started fighting people like that? That'd be quite funny. I'm gonna like go on a rampage. I'm gonna start calling out like Psycan and everyone else. Oh no, can you imagine? I'll start a war between the MDs and the PhDs. I'm sure that there's at least 4 VTubers that would be able to do this. I don't actually have the PhD yet though, so I don't think I'd even be able to take part in my own war. There's a flaw in this plan. Okay, there's a flaw. MD plus PhD. I'm a doctor. That is true, actually. That is true. You can actually do that. Or like doctor, person, PhD, MD, or MD, PhD. I don't remember what order it goes. You don't need a meeting unless you can formulate an agenda. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is the thing. I don't see the point in meetings unless you can like talk through it, you know? That wow, that was stating the obvious. I don't see the point in having a meeting unless it's like something complicated that you actually need to talk about. Like if it's just meeting for the sake of like, I don't know, like sometimes it's like just a checklist, like just going through all the admin tasks that you have to do, and that feels like a waste of time to me. I would rather just be given a list of things that need to be done and then work through them in my own time. Like ideally with some kind of end deadline that things need to be done by, if that makes sense. I don't want to sit there and like just talk for the sake of talking about things that could or should be done when I could just do them. I don't know. I like efficiency. It bothers me. Hi, Fasika. Welcome in. You're ready to learn? Let's go. I don't think that you're going to be learning very much because I'm literally just going to be yapping and probably complaining about what my day-to-day life is like as a grad student. So it might be things that you already know. What I like doing the most is watching covers and chill streamers, for example, you during the rain with the window open. That's so satisfying. Although I keep being told that like I'm a chill streamer or like I'm a cozy streamer, and I'm like, am I? Am I actually? I'm not so sure about that. I feel like there's too much chaos. I feel like there's just so much chaos that happens, and I don't know. Maybe I'm like 80% chill and then 20% chaos, but like they kind of balance each other out. I don't know. I'm cozy. My voice is soothing. Oh my gosh, I'm like a BBC presenter. I'm gonna start doing a podcast and pretending that I'm a BBC presenter. Can you imagine? That'd be so cursed. That'd be kind of funny though. Talking about site meeting reminds me of my last semester working on a research paper. Research papers. Don't even get me started. Well, I will get started, but in a bit when I start my presentation. Me with friends and an agenda for the meeting. Then we get drunk and play tabletop games. Me, you son of a bitch, I'm in. You know what? Actually, having an agenda for like friend meetings would probably make my life a bit easier, because then I'd be like, do you have something specific that you want to talk about? And I wouldn't let them forget. Thank you for the follow, Yaki. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I'm in my last year of undergrad and would like to get a PhD next, so I'm very curious to hear your experience. Exciting. Hopefully I can teach you something interesting. Okay, I'll try not to be too negative. I've got a bit of a tendency to go off on a tangent and just complain about academia in general. I'll try not to. I'll try to be balanced this time. You're no Philian. Yeah, I could never like even go near Philian's level of chaos. I don't have like she's too smart, let's be honest. Like she's too quick with her jokes. Like I'm very slow. Like I may be smart in a bookish way, but I'm very slow to process things. So like someone can say something to me and it will take like 5 seconds for me to understand what they mean. To be fair, this is probably quite well documented on streams now, because I can't even read things. I can't even read things and understand what people are saying half the time. Competently clumsy. That's a good way to describe it. Maybe it does depend on the background music. If I put on Bring Me the Horizon, would it give the stream a different vibe? I don't know. Maybe it's also like the warm colors, because there's definitely some like, I don't know, there's some like color psychology going on. I don't know anything about color psychology though. So this wasn't intentional, but like it was recently pointed out that like my colors are warm and that's like inviting, and I did not intend to do that, but then I was like, I'm gonna pretend that I meant to do that now. We've seen your pun game in the Discord. It's really bad. You know it's really, really bad. It's really bad. She's got great improv skills. She does, and I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Like, I wish that I had that level of like entertainment value, but I don't. I just talk about things. Now you gotta make jokes. Please do. Please do. I rely on chat to be funny because I can't do it myself. Oh my gosh. Yellow's especially used to convey happiness. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like the color scheme in general is kind of like warm. I went with sunset theme, but I didn't mean for it to be warm, but it just kind of inherently is, isn't it? How am I? I'm good, thank you. I'm a bit tired, but otherwise I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I've had a day where I was just working today, so I've got like a part-time job, which I will also talk about in a minute. But yeah, I was doing my part-time job today, so I had a break from the PhD, which is nice. It's very nice. You almost dozed off because of my voice? That's so nice. I love that. I love that. I wanted to be a chill and cozy streamer, but then I realized I'm like slightly too chaotic to really market myself in that way, if that makes sense. Like I can't outright say it because there's loads of people. There's all for everyone that says I'm a cozy streamer, there's also people that say I'm very chaotic. So I like to think that I just incorporate like a nice little medium in the middle. I'm cozy when it needs to be and chaotic when I need to be. Comforting like Cheerios with Sprite. What is this? Is this the next mayonnaise and tea? Terrible. I don't like that. Oh wait, you mean separately? You know what? I just instantly assumed you were putting the Cheetos in the Sprite, like you were dipping them in like some kind of cursed dip. Why did I think that? Okay, moving on. Yeah, Cheetos, like the crisps. I thought you meant like dipping them into the Sprite. I can't. Why did I go to that? What? I have so many questions. The reason, okay, no, I have a reason. Is because I know people that like dip chips and like as in fries into their milkshake, and like that kind of has the same energy, I think. But that might just be me being weird. Oh, alarm! My phone's going off. I didn't plan for this. I say that every time it goes off. I should really just change the alarm. not that good at planning though. Thank you for the posture check. Thank you. And also I forgot to say thank you for the hydrate and posture check redeems when I was setting up. I do actually have an entire drink and I did drink half of it and then go and fill it up. Just let the unhinged thoughts run wild. Genuinely. Oh, you just came back from Subcon. What is that, Quack? Indeed. What is Subcon? I don't know what that is. Oh, I have a dad joke. Hey, have you heard the rumor about butter? No. What is the rumor about butter? Tell me. What's the rumor about butter? I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. That's such a mood. That's me on a daily basis, to be honest. Hang on. I'm gonna set up my presentation real quick now, actually. Maybe we should actually do the presentation. I've done that thing where I'm just yapping for half an hour again. Okay. Here's my presentation layout. So, the way that this works is that when I'm doing a presentation, I don't have any sound alerts or overlay on. Wait, I have an overlay. What is this? I don't know if this is going to do the thing that it's meant to do. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have any sound alerts or anything like that on when I'm in presentation mode because it's distracting. So the sound alert redeems and stuff won't work. I've literally just said they won't work. I literally just said they won't work. Fine, I'll do it for you. Yeah. There you go. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? I don't want to spread it. Oh my god. That is a dad joke. I love it. Clip it, don't clip it. Don't clip it, don't clip it. Okay, let's do the presentation. Is this gonna work? I hope this works. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry. It worked. Success. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I need to put this here. Oh, no I don't. Oh my god, I can do it. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay. Go away. There we go. Good. Okay. So, little sis of Psydere. Oh my gosh. Let's see how much the lab agrees. Oh my god, is the whole lab listening? No pressure. Okay, so. Please don't put me on speaker. No. No, it's fine. You can. It's fine. It's fine. Hi, Benji. Welcome in. How are you? I hope you're good. So, the way that this works when I'm in presentation mode is that I don't have any sound alerts and I don't have any thingies, other alerts, like follow alerts and anything like that. So don't redeem anything. There's no point. Nothing will happen. It's just a waste of your channel points or whatever. So yeah, don't bother. But I can obviously still see chat. I can still see like activity notifications. So I will pause the talking and shout things out when I'm done talking, and like also respond to questions and stuff like that. Yeah. So today, ow, I cracked my joints. Okay. Oh my gosh. Not the clip, not the nya clip. Oh my gosh. Redeem the accent challenge instead. Please don't. I'm not doing this. I had to do that with the debut presentation, didn't I? I had to do the debut presentation like in a Scottish accent. It was terrible. Terrible. Anyway. Oh my god, is that going to keep doing that? Wait. Okay, I'm just going to move that off. There we go. Okay. Right. So, today, seminar mode go. I'm trying, but I can't take it seriously. I'm going to try my best. Okay. Right. So, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. Oh my god. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll do the 2-minute accent challenge very quickly. And then I'm not doing the presentation in it though. What do you want me to talk about? I've got nothing. My brain's not working. You know what, actually? What have I got to talk about? I can't present in a Scottish accent. I can't do that. Let me at least introduce it first, okay? Let me introduce it first. I need to introduce it first. I also realised I need to take my medication. My alarm went off and I forgot to do it. 1 second. Okay, I'm medicated. Do you hear this? There you go. There's your ASMR for the day. That was my pills rattling. Okay. Read a script. You know what? Oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. Okay. We're putting this away. Okay. Right. I'm gonna do the B movie. That's a great idea. B movie clip. B movie script. According to all known laws of aviation, etc., etc. B movie transcript. Perfect. Right. Let's go. My brain is not working, sums it up. Yeah, to be fair, this entire presentation just could be summarised as that. Okay, we're gonna do the B movie script in a Scottish accent. I should preface by saying I apologise if anybody watching is Scottish. I do a terrible Scottish accent. It's going to be incredibly stereotypical and I'm already embarrassed. Let's go. I'm setting my 2-minute timer. According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. It's already going. It's going Irish. I can't stop it. The bee, of course, flies anyway because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Oh, yellow and black. Black and yellow. Ah, yes, let's shake it up a little. Barry, breakfast is ready! Coming! Oh, hang on a second. Hello? Barry? Adam? Can you believe this is happening? I can't believe it. I'll pick you up. Barry, why don't you use the stairs? Your father paid good money for those. Sorry, I'm excited. Here's the graduate. We're very proud of you, son. A perfect report card, all B's. Very proud. Very proud. Ma, I got a thing going on here. Oh, you got some lint on your fuzz. Oh, that's me. Wave to us. We'll be in row 1. Wait, no, I can't do that. Wait, numbers. 118,000. Bye. Can I stop? No. This is getting really out of hand. Like, I'm really struggling with this. Like, I put it on for 2 minutes. I didn't sign up for this. I did not expect. I came on here. It's awfully Irish, I know. I could just give up. I could just give up and just go back to Irish, because that's what I know. Like, that's... I'm still not great at it, but, you know, it's what I hear on a daily basis, so I'm a little bit better, but I'm still pretty bad. Okay, the 2 minutes are up. I'm not doing any more. This is... Stop. Okay, no more. Never again. I'm gonna get rid of that redeem. This is unironically similar to lab meeting presentations. What goes on in your lab? Okay, right. Gotta save myself some more points to see you do the "You're a Wizard, Harry" meme. Oh my god. You're a wizard, Harry! For F's sake, listen to me! There you go, you've got a little preview. Okay, that was terrible. Let's move on. Let's do our actual presentation now. Anyway, I'm just gonna pretend that that never happened. You're not getting rid of that redeem, you are getting rid of that redeem. Although saying that, I'll get rid of it and you'll put it back. I know what you're like. Oh my gosh. Okay. Right, so... Moving on. Oh, hail Husmod. Exactly. The bastion of chaos in this chat. Anyway. So, today I'm going to be talking about a day in the... No, I'm not. Today I'm going to be talking about what it's like to do a PhD. A day in the life of a PhD student. Isn't that fun? I don't know why I did that little sarcastic thing at the end. Sorry, my English came out. Oh my gosh. Each time she removes it makes it 5 points cheaper. Please don't. Okay, so I had a question in my chat the other day which made me realise, hang on a second, I just kind of yap about things and I don't actually explain anything. And the question was, what actually is a PhD? Very good question. If you're not like in the university ecosphere, there's no reason why you would know what one is. So a PhD stands for a doctorate of philosophy. For some reason, the philosophy comes before the doctor. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But basically, it's a doctoral degree. So it is a research degree. The whole point of it is that you go and learn how to become a researcher. So the focus is on conducting your own research project. To this day, I still don't know why it's called a Doctor of Philosophy, even if you're not studying philosophy, but there are actually other types of doctorates. There's like a Doctor of Science, but you have to do a PhD in order to get a Doctor of Science. I don't understand it. It is what it is. Latin, yeah, it's just strange, like, tradition. Academia loves tradition. Natural philosophy, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. We stuck to the Latin tradition, except we translated it to English and then haven't bothered to rearrange it. But yeah, I'm technically doing a Doctor of Philosophy in psychology. So the way it works is you've got like Doctor of Philosophy part first, and then it'll be like in whatever subject you're doing. Ding ding, yes, we stick to our Latin traditions even when they make no sense. Okay. So, wait, actually, no, I should ask, is there any questions about this? So I think I should also clarify slightly. So the difference between a research degree and other types of degrees is that it is primarily self-directed. So it is a research project. It is not that you go to classes necessarily. Now, there is some cultural differences around this. So I know that, for example, in the US, there's a lot more emphasis on like going and doing classes when you first start the PhD, versus in the UK and Ireland, it's like entirely self-directed. You don't really have to do any mandatory training. You might have like a number of days of training that you have to do over the course of the degree, but otherwise it's like basically a job. It's more like you turn up to do a job. So yeah, that's what I mean by research degree. It's a research project rather than going to classes and being taught things. Is that clear? Does that make any sense? Oh, your brother's a historian and a linguist, so that's how you know. That's very cool. Hi, Professor Dutchy. Welcome in. Welcome in. Is he also cunning? Oh my gosh. I'm actually kind of curious about how it translates to local tradition. Which part? Which part? The language around the doctorate of philosophy or the actual PhD itself? How long does an average PhD take over there? Because here there's a pretty big difference depending on what field you're entering. They actually have a limit over here. So you have to finish within 4 years unless you've got extenuating circumstances. And normally you would get funding for 3 years. Most people here would get some kind of funding to help them do the PhD. So you get like tuition fees covered and you get a stipend. So it's just basically like a salary basically, but it's not a salary because you're not an employee. You don't get any employment protection rights and you don't get paid above minimum wage unless you're on a very fancy stipend. Mostly it's below minimum wage, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so that's how it works here. But yeah, you get funding for 3 years and then you have to finish within 4 years. It could theoretically be done within 2 or 3 years if you really hustle. Yeah, so I actually know somebody that finished theirs in 2.5 years. It's definitely possible to do it, even over here, if you just like focus and do nothing else. It's kind of complicated though, because like the research ecosystem's kind of changing, where just having a PhD is no longer like enough to get a job after your PhD. Like if you just focus on your degree and do nothing else, then you will kind of come out and you're not super employable. So the reality of doing a PhD now is that you have to do your PhD and then you also have to do a bunch of extra stuff. So, you know, it might be volunteering, it might be peer reviewing, you might do extra research projects outside of your PhD on other topics. Teaching, you pretty much have to do teaching. Yeah, stuff like that. Let's see. My unit's usually 3 years. Yeah, so I think, I don't know where you are, Professor Dutchy. Your name suggests the Netherlands. But yeah, across Europe it is normally 3 years. I know that in the US they can last a lot longer, I've heard. I've met people that did the PhD in the US and they took 7 years, I think. But the other kind of core difference is the progression system, I think. So in the UK and Ireland, it's kind of expected that you would do a bachelor's degree and then you would do a separate like 1 or 2 year master's degree and then you would do a PhD. You can go straight from bachelor's into PhD, but it's really, really uncommon. Most people do a separate master's degree first. I wonder if our candidate of sciences is like PhD and doctor is like Doctor of Sciences. I do wonder. I wonder, because I know that there's different terminology in different countries. Yeah. So I know that here, if you are doing your PhD, there's kind of different phases of it. So the first year, you would be a doctoral candidate, because you are a candidate to do a PhD and you have to pass an exam in order to become a PhD student. So yeah, first year of the PhD here, you're a candidate, and then once you pass your exam, you're moved on to being a full student. So I wonder if it's like that. In the US, a PhD in psychology takes 5 to 7 years. Oof. Although I say that, and I've done my PhD for 4 years now. Well, it will be 4 years in September. Yeah, in September it would be 4 years. But I took some time out, to be fair. I've taken like a collective of about 4 or 5 months off. So technically I guess I'm like 3.5 years in. But yeah, I did do a 1 year master's before I started. So if you're putting it all together, technically it would have been 5 years, I guess. But yeah, kind of varies. PhDs are actually paid positions over here, so more like a job. Yeah. That is definitely the case in quite a few places. Your name suggests right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I know that in the Netherlands and in Germany, and I think my tingly brain is telling me somewhere in the Nordic countries as well, but I can't remember which or if it's just all of them. But yeah, you're an actual job. Like, it's an actual job. You're an actual employee at the university. But UK and Ireland doesn't do that. You're a student until they want you to do staff things, but then you do it for below minimum wage. Pain. That makes sense. I was about to say, I hear a lot of people in PhDs go for TA positions or working with other administrators on the campus with their own external projects. Yes. Yeah, because that's, yeah, like I said, you have to do extra stuff now. Like, just having the degree in itself isn't enough to get you a job afterwards. So, and then TAing, sometimes it's literally just money. Like, sometimes you just have to do TAing in order to, survive, to pay your rent. Ours is flipped. You're a PhD student until you test, and then you're a candidate. That's so interesting. I wonder why they're different. We also have we have to have 2 pubs and a dissertation. Okay, so that's why it takes the time it does. I see. Yeah. So that actually brings me on to what I think might be the next slide, but I can't remember. Yes, it does. So what is needed for a PhD? So in general, again, I'm talking from like UK and Ireland context. A PhD, in order to get your PhD, you would need to, spend the time doing the research, and then you need to either submit a thesis, which is basically a book which documents all of the research that you've done. So you have to do an original research project, and then the thesis is like a book that kind of documents all of your progress. And then once you've submitted it, you have to do a defense. So in the UK, that's an oral examination. So basically a panel like asks you questions. So they'll like dig into your theory, or they'll dig into your methodology. They'll be like, why have you done this? What are the follow-ups that you're going to do? Stuff like that. In some countries, it's also a public lecture. So members of the public can come and listen to you basically give a presentation and ask you questions, which is infinitely more terrifying, I think, but apparently it's actually quite nice because you can have your friends plant questions. But yeah, we don't do that here. Some countries also require a set number of what we call first author research outputs. So that could be journal articles or conference papers or something along those lines, maybe a monograph, which is just like a fancy book. First author means that you have to be normally research is done in teams, and you have to be the lead person in the team. So you've done most of the research and you've written the paper. You can have other positions that generally reflect, kind of less contribution to it. So for example, a supervisor might be the last person on the paper. Or you could just have done data collection and maybe you'd be somewhere in the middle. But yeah, for the case of a PhD, you'd have to be the first author. It would have to be your paper. Even though that's not actually how science works anymore. Like, you can genuinely have papers where people have contributed equally, but it's fine. It's fine. Defense with a C. I've probably just spelled it wrong. Let's be honest. I've probably just spelled it wrong. I'm not known for my spelling. Not trying to distract you, just chatting with the chat. No, it's fine. Interestingly, I hear a lot of PhDs in the US want you to have a master's first, but not all of them. That is interesting. See, I was always under the impression that it was more of like a progression, like an embedded progression pipeline in the US. I might be wrong about this, but I was under the impression that like the first few years are basically the equivalent to a master's degree, because you do classes and stuff. But yeah. PhD defense be like, who do you think you are? What is this? What were you thinking? They genuinely are like that. They genuinely are like that. They just ask you all of the questions like, what are you doing and why? Why? Hi, Poop Generator, and hello, Ventura. I hope you're both good. You have to do that for your masters. Yeah, I was meant to do one for my masters, but it got cancelled because of the Rona. Okay, I got out of it. Yeah, no, most defenses are actually quite nice. Like, the majority of people that I know have said it was a very pleasant experience. Like, you basically just get to chat about your research, like what you did and why. And often they'll provide quite nice contributions for ways that you can improve it or things that you can develop. Yeah, no, it's normally quite nice, but sometimes you do get a kind of yucky examiner. Okay, Nightmind, you redeemed hydrate. Thank you for that. I will do that. And I'm also going to adjust myself quickly because I'm uncomfortable. I will now drink my water. I see you've brought your thesis. Of course. Of course. I sent to read it. Explain everything. Yes. Haven't read it. Yes, yes, yes. Of course I haven't read it. Yes. Genuinely. I'm sure that does happen, but thankfully everyone that I know has always actually had the thesis read by the examiners. Don't know how it is in other countries, but a master's in psychology is generally not useful except as a starting point for a PhD unless you want to be a prison psychologist. Yeah. Kind of. So in the UK and Ireland, if you want to do something clinical, there's actually a separate type of degree. So there's a taught/clinical placement doctorate. So it's more similar to like a medical degree, to be honest. You have classes, and then you also have a placement where you go out and work in the services, and you also do a research project, and that was normally 3 years, I think. But yeah, they're taught, and you're an actual employee while you do that. You get paid an actual salary. So yeah, I'd say in the UK, it depends on the master's degree. Some of them are very, very useful. Some of them are very useful, especially if it's one that like covers specific skills that you wouldn't have covered in undergrad. So for example, my master's covered some quite in-depth like data. I can do this. Data analytic techniques, which an undergrad would not know. Like even if they did like a data analytics like undergrad, they probably wouldn't know the context or the methodologies that I covered. But it is quite variable. There are master's degrees that are kind of they're just there for the sake of it, to be honest. Like I don't really understand the point of them apart from just like the fun of learning, which is valid. That's very valid. In terms of careers, I think there are some master's degrees that you need to do if you want to progress in certain careers. Clinical psychology is actually not one of them. You can do pretty much any master's degree. It's more about whether you've got clinical experience or not. I know that for forensic psychology, so that's like the work in prisons, and for occupational psychology, which I think in the US is called like IO, like industrial organizational. Those two you definitely need a certified master's for. I have a feeling that there might be another one that I'm forgetting, but I don't remember. You just need to know someone and have a bag of money. So true, to be fair. So true. So true. That's just like academia in a nutshell. Like you need to know people and you need to be able to like get the money out of them. I'm getting my master's in social work because it's more useful than a master's in psychology. Yeah, it depends on what you want to do, I think. So to be fair, social work and psychology are different. They're 4 different things. I think they're very complementary. So like for example, if you were going to be doing social work, you could probably also do some kind of therapy qualification and that would genuinely be useful. But they kind of have different roles. And I probably should have said the context that I'm talking in. I'm a social psychologist, so I'm very squarely in the research area. I don't do anything that involves like, working with people that need help. I don't do anything mental health related. I don't do anything like, prison related or justice system related. I don't do anything social services related. Like I just squarely do research. And I'm very much talking from a research perspective here. Obviously, I do know stuff about how other types of psychologists operate and like what their qualifications they need are and stuff like that, because I've got a network and I know people and I've asked them and we've talked about it quite extensively. But yeah, I don't think that... See, because psychotherapy is like a regulated profession, very, very strictly regulated in the UK and also in Ireland. Yes, there's like an inter-country like agreement between the two. Because like so many people move between them even for work. I mean, like, yeah, there's like a border between the countries. People just move between them for work. But yeah, in the UK and Ireland, you'd normally have like you've got like separate qualifications for therapy, which are nothing to do with social work. But I do also know quite a lot of social workers that have then subsequently become therapists by doing a qualification in therapy. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a tangent though, but it's an interesting one. I really want to bring on like psychologists in other areas to talk about what they do because I think that'd be so fun. Like psychology is a really, really diverse field, and I just focus on the researchy social stuff. But yeah, it'd be really fun to learn a bit more about the actual applied, the applied side of it. In the US, a lot of people use the term therapy when they mean counseling, which ends up resulting in people sometimes having a therapist that has to tell them, "I'm so sorry, I can't handle this." That's really bad. That's shocking, to be honest. Yeah, no, counseling and therapy are both regulated in the UK and Ireland, and they are very, very distinct. They're counseling. For a bit of context, counseling is like basically talking to someone and I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of trying to get them to talk through their problems, and sometimes there's an element of like leading them to a solution. Whereas psychotherapy is very much like about skills development and like working with somebody to for example, learn how to regulate their emotions better, or teach them ways of overcoming a lack of motivation, stuff like that, things that are affecting their life negatively that they want to change. It's about working with them to develop those skills. So counseling and therapy are distinct things. There is a lot of overlap between them. Obviously, you need to be able to talk to somebody about their problems in order to teach them the skills. And a lot of counselors will also have basic therapy skills. But yeah, they are different, and if you let them overlap too much, it can get a bit messy. Hi, Lord Basil, welcome in. How are you? I hope you're good. Fun fact: Criminal Minds gave people the wrong idea on criminal profiling. When I graduated with my bachelor's, there was about 26 psychologists that actually do criminal profiling. Most profiling is done by FBI agents who took a couple of psychology classes. That's very true. Profiling is not a thing. Like I think. Even like in the legal system, it's just not really used because it's really, really unreliable. Like it's quite bad. It doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. And like there's been some really high profile cases where they tried to use profiling and it just went completely wrong. Like they completely went after the wrong person when the actual the person they were looking for was right in front of them basically the whole time. That's like a whole thing. I actually had an entire lecture about that when I was at undergrad. I just remembered because I had like we did a little bit of like criminal psychology in my undergrad, and they basically were like, okay, if you've come to this class to learn how to do profiling, like on Criminal Minds or like CSI or something like that, get out. This is the wrong class for you. We don't do serial killers. We don't do like profiling. Just it's not for you. We're going to be talking about much more complicated and unpleasant stuff. So, yeah, no true crime. As far as I know, counselling is more about dealing with the day-to-day, like getting through grief, divorce, anxiety, etc., versus psychotherapists are qualified to treat the root problem of your mental illness. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, counselling can be for intense stuff, but normally it would be a counselling psychologist who is trained to deal with more intense issues of well-being. It is, like, there is definitely overlap. But yeah, because, like, you do get counsellors, like, that work in mental health services, but you do also get psychotherapists who teach people skills who are not necessarily struggling. It's more like preventative, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's like the talking versus skills. That's kind of, I'd say that's the kind of key differentiation. But then again, I'm not a therapist, so I might be wrong. I might be wrong. In the US, we're taught that counseling is more for talking through daily problems and the like. Psychotherapy is more about trauma and long-term problems. Yeah, okay. This is interesting. This is interesting because I think maybe the UK takes a more like preventative approach. Or, well, we'd love to be fair. There's kind of a whole thing about like, obviously we've got like, well, there's like the NHS, which is free at the point of access. So in theory, anybody can go and get any kind of therapy that they need. But originally they set up these services called IAPT. So I can't remember what it stands for. It's like inclusive access to psychological therapies. I think that's what it stands for. But basically it was like a service where you could, if you had issues that weren't clinical, but for example, maybe you're struggling with your emotion regulation a little bit, but you don't have an actual diagnosis of depression or anxiety or anything like that, then you can go to it and kind of have preventative care. And like you'd go through like 6 sessions of cognitive behavioral therapy. But the funding has kind of gone a bit wacky. And because of that, now IAPT is being used for people who have quite serious mental health problems, and the services that are meant to be for people with quite serious mental health problems are for people with really, really serious mental health problems. So it's a bit of a mess, but you know, it's fine. Well, it's not fine. It's not fine. But I can't do anything about it. I just feel a bit useless when I think about it. So I'm not going to dwell on that too much. You're well? I'm glad. A licensed clinical social worker is legally allowed to do counselling but not therapy. Interesting. This is very interesting because I think as far as I'm aware, a social worker in the UK can't do counselling. So that's fascinating. Hearing the UK's mental health procedures reminds me that the US is a third world country with iPhones. I mean, it's to be fair, it's kind of mixed. It's kind of mixed. If there are some things that what I'm saying is what is best practice and what is meant to happen according to the guidelines. What actually happens is something else. It's very much something else actually happens. But yeah, anyway, should we go back to the presentation? We're getting so distracted. It's fine. I don't mind being distracted, but you know. So, okay. So, what are the kind of tasks that a PhD student does? So to be honest, a big chunk of it is just kind of general office work. So it'll be things like sending out emails, organising your notes, writing up meeting notes, getting payments reimbursed, meetings like with your advisor, your PhD advisor, or with your lab, because you'll be working in a lab normally. You'd have like a group. And also training. So just like in any workplace, you'd kind of do training to facilitate your professional development. So you might be doing training in research methods or in data management or in how to do a good search strategy when you're looking for papers, stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of it is just kind of like 9-to-5 office job, which is really something. So a PhD student just does what I get paid for. Yeah, basically, that's a big chunk of it. Hi, Resta! Welcome in! You love listening to the little tangent? I'm so glad. I hope it's interesting. I enjoy going on the tangents, but then every time I go on a tangent, I'm like, I could do an entire, 2-hour-long yapping stream about this one specific thing. Like the thing with, how the mental health services in the UK operate, I could give a whole lecture and I could go on an entire, 2-hour rant after it, but maybe that's something for another day. I've already done an NHS complaining stream and I don't want to become the person that complains about the NHS, you know? I think the only difference is that I do work with patients occasionally as a clinical practitioner. Yeah. So I don't work with anybody really. Because I started my PhD during the pandemic, all of my research has been online, so it's all been desk-based basically. I've been running surveys and doing workshops and stuff, but it's online. I don't actually have to go into the lab at all. It's kind of a shame because I was meant to be doing actual lab-based research, going out and, experimenting on people in the lab, but I never got the opportunity. And I'm kind of sad about that, to be honest, because I'm going to leave the university and I'm not staying in academia, so I probably won't have another chance. But you know, it's fine. It's probably not a skill that would be super useful in the day-to-day world, whereas if I'm doing online experiments, then I can pretend I've done A/B testing, so so that's all good. You've got an entire Twitch chat you can experiment on. However, this is very true. I can experiment on all of you, which is very exciting. Hi, Orishiro, welcome in. How are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. I don't know much about the certifications here in the US, but I do have a streamer friend who is a licensed therapist. That's so interesting. I would love to know who they are. Put it on the Discord, put their details on the Discord, and I will probably at some point reach out to them when I'm doing collabs again, because I'm not really doing any at the minute because thesis brain. I don't have the mental capacity to organize things. But one day I'll start doing collabs, and then you'll all be sorry. This is only 10% of my power. It's too hot. 32 degrees. Ugh. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. It's like, I think we max out at like 25 Celsius in Ireland, so that's nice. I could not cope with 32. Well, I mean, I can cope with 32. I've been to hot countries, but doing my day-to-day work at a PC in 32 degrees without air conditioning is a big no. I don't know how you do it. I can't be used as a test subject because of my education. It'd skew your results. You'd be surprised at how many studies are just conducted on people that already have like undergraduate or graduate level education in psychology. Like, it's really quite concerning, to be honest. That is also a stream for another day, though. Okay, right. So, aside from general admin tasks, what else do we do? What do we do that's special? So we do actually have specific research tasks that we have to do. Now, I should note that these vary wildly depending on the type of project. This list I've made based on what we do in psychology, but obviously fields beyond psychology do all sorts of other stuff that are not on this list. So my PhD was largely running surveys or online experiments. So I would create the survey, I'd like test it, make sure it's working okay. Pilot test it with a small group of people, get feedback on it, see if anything's broken, and then like deploy it out. Online experiments are normally, they can be embedded into a survey, or they can be like an entire kind of like piece of software on their own. There's also lab work, so I don't do this. This has nothing to do with me, but like I do know people that work with, for example, tissue cultures. Or they do field work, so they go out and they talk to people, they do interviews, maybe they go out to a hospital to do like MRI scans and stuff like that. Writing code, I actually do this. This is a big part of what I'm doing at the minute, is just writing code. So I'm doing basically data analysis code, but there are people that just entirely do things like software development or simulations. So you can simulate social networks really easily. Well, not really easily, but you know, it's a pretty well established thing. You can also simulate, for example, how neurons fire in the brain. So yeah, that's nice. I don't do that though. I'm not good enough at coding. You can do research projects that are centered around primary sources or kind of reviewing existing literature. So I've had to do a little bit of that at the beginning. So that might mean, for example, looking through a big list of, I'm trying to have a think. So you can do things like what we call thematic analysis. So basically it's a qualitative research methodology where you look at a transcript and then you try and pull out the themes that keep cropping up in the transcript over and over again. So you might be, getting access to transcripts from like videos or from interviews or stuff like that. Conducting database searches is all about finding existing literature. So just kind of looking through what's already been done and learning more about it. And then writing research outputs is a really big thing. So writing the papers, writing conference papers, journal articles, and of course the thesis, which is what I'm doing at the minute. I'm fully aware that I've just been yapping away and there is an ad in progress. I didn't realize until I already went on my tangent. Not my tangent, went on my spiel. So I'm just gonna stall here and wait until people have come back from the ads. There's no such thing as good enough on code. There's just not good documentation. This is true, actually. This is true. Having good documentation makes a very big difference. Very, very big difference. 32 degrees here, and I plan on taking a walk after the stream and making my own presentation at the same time. Please do go for a walk, honestly. I feel like I should probably have gone for a walk today, but I did not. I was kind of in gremlin mode. I didn't leave the house today. Averaging 31 to 35. Ugh. I'm not about that. That's too difficult. Not a fan. Not a fan. You know, I read tissue culture and I just imagine people worshipping tissues. That tells you how my brain works. I love that. I love that so much. That's kind of how my brain would work though. It's like how I instantly thought like dipping the Cheetos in the Sprite rather than just eating them separately. So, yeah. Oh, my mouse is in the way. Stop that. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Lord Basil. Quack. Sorry you didn't get the quack or a Shiro. I've turned off the sound alerts while I do the presentation. Let me do my impression. Quack. There you go. I attempted. It was terrible. Couldn't research psychology. I hate writing reports and reading papers. It is a big part of it, to be honest, and it is kind of painful. Have you done a presentation on the fields of psychology? I have not, actually. I have actually not. I should probably do that. I should do an introduction to psychology at some point. That would be really helpful, wouldn't it? I have like a long list of things that I need to do, and I haven't done them yet, and that is one of them. How can you interfere with the presentation? You're denied. Your quack is denied. You are not to interfere. It can't happen. You just get the audible quack. That's all you get. Okay, right. I know that the ad's literally just ended, and this is really annoying of me to say, but I've run out of juice. I've run out of juice. I've run out of water. So I'm gonna quickly go grab some water, and I will be back in like 2 minutes. Not even that. Okay. And then we will continue the presentation. So I'll be back in a second. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. I have acquired water. This is good. Okay. I've done several presentations on fields of psychology. Unfortunately, clinical psychology just goes, you need to know what everyone else is doing. Yeah, that's kind of true. That's kind of true. Clinical psychology is just very much applied like other forms of psychology, but that's kind of cool though. I like that. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Shall we keep going? Although personally, okay, no, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent again, but like clinical psychology, I think it's a mixture of like other field, like the research fields of psychology, and then also like it has its own stuff too. Like it pulls from other areas, right? But it's also, you need to develop so many unique skills. Well, they're not necessarily unique, but like you have to be really good at stuff. Like you have to be really, really good at showing empathy. And I can't do that. That's why I'm a researcher. That's why I'm a researcher. I'm really bad. I'm really bad at being like, I don't know, like letting people know that I care about what's happening to them, and you know, making that therapeutic connection. It's not. I'm not good at it. What's the Nyaradim? It's a sound alert, but I've got them turned off, so don't do it. You can wait until we move to the just chatting screen again. Wait until we move to the just chatting screen again, and then you can do it. But yeah, don't do it now. I also owe Orishiro one quack. I have like 121 pages of notes on just how to be a good interviewer. That is intense. Yeah, I could not do that. I feel like academic training is more like just how to get the information out of people without seeming rude, but we kind of get like the scientist pass. Like people kind of assume that we're not empathetic in a way. Which is, in some ways it's kind of fine, because then when you are actually empathetic, it's like it's a pleasant surprise for people and they engage really well, but people assume that we're not, so yeah, don't know what that says. Also, I've just realized the music's up really loud. I'm so sorry. Okay, music's back down. There we go. Fixed it. Did I fix it? There we go. Now I fixed it. I swear, I'm a competent and functional streamer. Okay. Right, next. I will say that our education's kind of messed up. We're basically told, here's how to pretend that you care. It is a little bit like that. But I don't think that's inherently a bad thing, to be fair. I think that is more of a it's sometimes you don't always feel like it, you know, and sometimes people will tell you things and you genuinely don't care, and you still have to pretend to care in order to make that connection. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you can still put aside like your own opinions and thoughts and stuff, and you know, show them that somebody cares, even if it's not 100%, you know, a thing, then that's still better than nothing. Where's Tungsten Chan? Do you mean the cube, or do you mean Husbando mod? Husbando mod is doing something. I can hear vigorous clicking. He's doing something productive. The cube is around somewhere. I don't know actually where the cube is. Probably over with him. Okay, right. So I tried to do like an actual day in the life. But it didn't really work. Like I tried to list out a day in the life of a PhD student. It didn't work. Because the thing is that every day it's kind of the same, but it's also kind of different. And there's like no one day that encapsulates everything. So I've kind of tried to break it down by year instead. And again, this is on the UK and Ireland timeline. So, you know, answers may vary depending on geographical location and education system. But so for me personally, my first year of my PhD was a lot of planning. So it was doing training, learning how to use methodologies, or how to just how to manage a research project in general. There was a lot of project management training actually. And then also classes. You might have to do some classes. Probably not, but maybe. I had to, because technically I hadn't finished my master's when I started the PhD because of pandemic related reasons. So that was kind of painful. I had to like do the last bit of my master's and start the PhD at the same time. But that was a very unique position. Maybe you'd be asked to like, you know, do 1 or 2 modules to kind of complement what you'll be doing anyway, but you normally wouldn't have to set any assignments for them. At least that seems to be the general experience of all of my friends. Is that you might be asked to do modules, but you don't have to do the assessment for them. Again, it's very different in other places, though. I know that in the US, you do actually have to do classes and do assignments for them, which is, I don't envy you. You'll have to read existing papers. So there'll be like a massive body of literature that it might not be exactly what you're doing. It shouldn't be exactly what you're doing. You're meant to do a unique project. But there'll be lots of research on things that are kind of related. For example, if you are researching why people believe conspiracy theories, then you might look at the literature around, how people's beliefs develop, or the effects of propaganda, or information processing, or false memories, stuff like that. Like things that are kind of tangentially related that can give you some ideas as to what you want to do. You read kind of a broad range of them, and from that you work out what you want to actually do. You start planning out your own research designs and materials. You'll be meeting with your advisor a lot, so your supervisor. They won't be a lot. This is complicated. The relationship that you would have with your advisor varies quite substantially depending on the advisor. So you may have an advisor who is really hands-off and just kind of lets you do your thing and gives you kind of broad direction, like, yeah, I think you're doing roughly the right thing. Maybe gives you like recommended reading, or gives you input on your research design, but otherwise, they let you do your thing, and maybe you meet once a month. Other advisors are like, you meet every week and they give you like an exact list of everything that they want you to do. There are very, very different styles. Some of them are like more mentoring and some of them are more management. It really does just depend on the person, and this is one of the key things that I would recommend prospective like graduate students to really, really think about and talk to other students in the lab and find out the advisor's management style, because they might be working on exactly the topic that you want to do, but their management style just doesn't gel with you. And that's okay. That just means that they're not the right advisor for you. Find somebody else. Or if you think that you'll be okay with it, then, sometimes it's worth it. But I think for me personally, I would really advocate, the relationship that you have with your advisor is really key to doing a PhD. They're the ones that are reviewing all of your papers. They're the ones that are they're the gatekeeper for things like funding, or, institutional support. So I would say prioritize getting a good advisor. But yeah, you'll be meeting with your advisor quite a lot in the first year. Hopefully they'll be helping you plan out your research designs and materials, but sometimes you'll be doing the bulk of that on your own. And then once you've got your plans for what you're going to be studying, and how you're going to do it, then you can start doing things like planning your institutional review board applications. It's also known as a research ethics committee. So it's basically the group of people that look at your research design and say, is this ethical, yes or no? Does it meet the criteria and the standards that you're expected to meet? Is there any risk of people being harmed? Is there any coercion? Is there any deception? Stuff like that. Like, they want to make sure that you're doing your research ethically, and you have to go through that process in order to get approval to run your study. If you don't, depending on the country you're in, it may or may not be classified as research fraud, and you can sometimes, depending on what you've done, end up actually being, losing your job and being removed from the PhD for a start. But in some cases, it can even lead to prison time if it ends up actually causing harm to people. So not worth it. Do your ethics reviews. And then also in your first year, you may be applying for funding. Kind of depends on whether you secured funding before you started the PhD. I tried to do a day in the life, but it didn't work. That just explains everything. It really does. Like, every day is different and the same at the same time. Like, I would wake up sometimes and do nothing but read papers, and then other times I'd be all over the place. I'd be doing loads of stuff, like a little bit of everything. The US is horrible in terms of education on every level. Also, how did you stumble into the research topic I did for my BA? What? Was your bachelor's on why people believe conspiracy theories? Ain't no way. What? If we can't get it past the ERB, it doesn't fly here. At least the uni wouldn't let us get the supplies. That's pretty much exactly it. Thank you for the 10 bits, Richard. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I've got the alert thing on. Off, sorry. The alerts are off, but I can do the Sean voice. Richard cheered 10 bits. Thank you, Richard. I wrote about why people fall for conspiracies. That's wild. That's my research area. So it's like why people believe like conspiracy theories and misinformation and propaganda and stuff like that, and like information processing and like social processing and how that leads to politicized beliefs and stuff. That's so fun. I love that. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. I actually learned a bit about that in an anthropology class of mine last year. That's so cool. I love that. It's definitely one of those areas where like there's some psychology, there's some anthropology, there's some like media studies. You need to know a bit of like propaganda studies to really be able to understand conspiracy theories, I think. Now there's like computer science and like AI and stuff like that. Oh, sorry for the background noise. And political science. You need to know a bit of political science as well, to be honest. But we looked at it from people coming up with them and feeling disenfranchised by a perceived secret reason. They're oppressed in societal standards from their brain, not mine, I swear. Yeah, no, that's, to be fair, that's a big part of it. Like feeling like disenfranchised by society, or like feelings of anomie, like you can't really control anything in society. Like we live in a society exactly, Oroshiro. That's basically it. But like those kinds of feelings are a very big driver of it from what the current literature seems to show. And then also like group polarization as well. So conspiracy theories normally represent like a kind of unique type of political belief. Mostly they are political in some way, where it's kind of like signaling a political group identity. But there's also an element of like explicitly blaming an external group for it. So for example, what's a good example? I guess like QAnon. Actually no, let's go with Pizzagate, because that one's kind of wacky. I think most people can agree that that's kind of wacky. So like with Pizzagate, the idea that there's like a secret society of like specifically like left-wing politicians having this strange abusive ring or whatever it was under a pizza shop, like that's very explicitly like kind of signaling that like that political group is bad and we are differentiated from them, we are opposed to them, and they are causing problems in our society, such as, you know, doing, I don't know, bad things like abusing people and stuff. I don't know. Like it's kind of a very clear like scapegoating society's problems onto that group, but in a kind of extreme way most of the time. But yeah, it's very, obviously it's something that I find really interesting because it's literally my research area, like all of that kind of stuff, and then like kind of like expanding a little bit beyond it too, into just like politicized beliefs in general. But yeah, it's cool and it's fun. Pizzagate is not, conspiracy theories are not, but you know, researching why people believe them is cool and fun. What is this AI people keep talking about? Gosh, I don't know, Nico. Welcome in. Hope you're good. Please, one day, like, I want to be, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Nico. I really wanna talk to your AI one day. Please, can we make this happen? I'm so interested in talking to it. How did they know about my underground pizza meetings? No comment. Opposing fiercely, the fierce opposition doesn't make the opposition more fierce. Yes. That is a fierce comment. If we don't if oh my god, I can't read. But if we don't fiercely oppose, no wait, I can't read. If we don't fiercely oppose them, they grow the same. I'm just gonna give up. I should go back to my presentation. Off topic, off subject question of curiosity. Have you done much research into cults? I have not, but I would love to. It's super interesting. Super interesting. My research into cults is limited to like, you know, like those YouTube videos about them. Like I haven't done any actual academic research into it, but oh, it's so interesting. You're good? I'm glad to hear. Ready to hear what a day in the life of a PhD student looks like? Oh no. You know. It's just sitting at a PC and crying, let's be honest. It's informal research, I guess, yeah. It's kind of like a lay source of information, in a way, I guess. When your collabs open up again, give me a ring-a-ding. You're one of the ones that are on the top of my list, I'm not gonna lie. Absolutely. But I don't have a date at the minute. I just, thesis brain is really something. I feel like I've got holes in my brain. No, I'm not joking. I'm serious. I had a hilarious assignment in a developmental psych class where we raised a virtual child. What? Mine was the only one that became a psychologist. It was basically a telltale game. That's so... I don't know if that's brilliant or cursed. I think it might be cursed. You're so flattered. Why are you flattered? You do fun and interesting educational content. Of course you'd be on the top of the list. As long as the resource isn't like voices in my head, then we're good. Well, even that is interesting. Ow. I meant to do that. Even that is interesting though, because if you could like analyze the way that people's like voices are talking to them, like that would give you a lot of insight into like the qualitative experience of having voices in your head. But also like, so there's a lot of people who hear voices, but like they're not problematic. So hearing voices is only inherently problematic if it's causing you problems, if that makes sense. Like hearing voices in itself is quite neutral. It's a problem if they start like demanding you to do things and you listen to them, or like they start demanding you to do bad things, you know, like things that will cause you legal problems or personal problems or whatever. But like if you have a voice in your head that like reminds you to drink water, like if you have chat basically constantly redeeming hydrate, but like at good times when you are actually thirsty, that's not a bad thing, you know? And there's a lot of people that just live with voices and it doesn't cause them any problems and it's all good. Thank you for the hydrate redeem loyalty, Basil. Thank you. I will drink. Auditory hallucinations and illusions exist. At least I think they're called auditory illusions. I could be mistaken. Yeah. So like if you've ever heard it, like if you've ever been just like listening to background noise, like maybe, I don't know, like a road or something like that, and then you think that you hear a voice in it, that's like a really common thing. It's just the same as seeing a visual illusion. So yeah, if you like think you hear someone calling your name, for example, but it's actually just like a random pattern of background noise that just happened to sound like it. It does happen. If you have chat in your head, please get it checked out. For real. If you've got chat in your head, you've got terminal content brain. There's nothing we can do for you. Trust me, I'm a psychologist. Oh my gosh. I deal with a lot of people that suffer from delusions, and it's always really interesting. Some of them have hallucinations based on whatever the trigger was. I just had someone that kept seeing Michael Jackson because they saw a music video. That is really interesting. Yeah, so are the delusions and hallucinations linked though? Like, do they have a delusion that Michael Jackson is with them in the room, and then they see, like, because of that, they interpret the hallucination as being real? Like, are they linked or not? I don't know how it works. My voice says I have to study, but I don't know where or who it was. And sometimes, and my mother says I don't have to listen to strangers. Exactly. The voice is helpful, but I've decided it isn't. Okay, shall we move on, actually? Okay, right. So, average week in years 2 and 3. So, basically, my second and third year of the PhD, I was largely just doing a lot of the same thing. So a lot of the prepping, because it's kind of a continual process. Like, you will plan out your research designs, and then you will realize that there's I think I just heard something crash, and I don't know. Or was it an auditory hallucination? Oh no. It's the voices. They've started moving the plates. Oh my gosh. I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna start again. Also, thank you for the follow, Savoy. Welcome in. I hope you're good today. I don't have follow alerts on at the minute because I'm presenting, and this will end up being a YouTube video eventually. And although it would be really fun to have all of the things being like, hi YouTube, I kind of want it to be semi-professional. But thank you for the follow. Hi, welcome in. Okay, right, I'm gonna start this again. So in my second and third years of my PhD, largely I was doing a lot of the same thing, because research is a kind of continual process of like doing things and planning things out, and then you get results that weren't what you expected, and then you have to go back and change the design or redo it. So yeah, a lot of it is kind of just continuing those processes of like developing your research project, doing background reading, planning out your research design, applying for ethics. However, there are at this point normally additional things that you'd be doing. So remember how I said that there's a load of specific research tasks that you might be doing, like writing code or running an experiment, planning out a survey, running a survey, recruiting participants, stuff like that. You start doing that basically. So the projects that you've got ethics approval, you start actually running them. So for me, there was a lot of creating and advertising surveys, which was absolutely painful. And then also getting my participants compensated for their time. So using platforms or, giving out vouchers and stuff like that. Because obviously people's time is valuable. And if they're spending 25 minutes on a long old survey, I don't want to give them something for it, Don't really want to just be like, go away. You get nothing. There's also conferences. So you might start doing conferences at this point. Conferences, I always like to say that they're like anime conventions, but for scientists. Basically, just everybody gets together and geeks out about something that they're excited about. They're normally either by research field or by specific topic. So I might, for example, go to a conference specifically for social psychology, or I might go to a interdisciplinary conference looking at politicized beliefs, which has got people from psychology and people from politics and people from anthropology and computer science and all sorts. But in psychology, conferences aren't they're more of a way to network than anything else. I know in other fields, like conference papers are really, really important. They're not as much in psychology, to be honest. They're kind of just like a nice little thing to do to add onto your CV for us. But planning those out, you'd have to organize your travel and accommodation. Actually, no. First, you have to apply for them. So you have to submit an abstract and have it accepted. You might have to do reviews on other people's as well. Then once you've been accepted, you organize your travel and accommodation so that you can actually get there. And then also you've got to plan out your poster or your talks. So posters are just basically, they're posters. I don't know what else to tell you with that. They're giant bits of paper, like A0 size, with all of your research on it. It's like an infographic, but terrible. They're always very badly designed. I think I've seen like literally 5 in my entire life where I looked at it and I was like, yes, this is aesthetically pleasing. They're always ugly. Or you might do a talk. So, getting up and giving a lecture in front of other people that are experts in your area, which is terrifying. Posters are hectic and talks are terrifying. Posters are hectic because you get loads of people just like approaching and talking to you, and you have to give an elevator pitch, and then they ask you really in-depth questions about what's on your poster. And then talks, like you get up in front of people and I don't like it. I get performance anxiety. I hate it. Yeah. You also have to get your poster printed, which is in itself a pain. That is a whole other level of pain. Like, you don't know pain until you've had to like do an international flight with 3 bits of hand luggage because you can't afford like a checked bag because they won't expense that for you. And you kind of have to just plead with the staff on the plane to just like let you take the poster. And then it's like really long. It's like almost as long as you. Well, me anyway, it's almost as long as me. And then it gets lost because like someone moves it from the overhead locker, and then you have to go around the whole plane trying to find it. So yeah, if you've never done that, you don't know suffering, to be honest. Ugh, the transit, you know. We just FedEx them. I would love to do that, but the problem is, right, if you're in Europe, it involves like, a lot of the times it involves like posting it to a different country. And like, you may have a reliable postal service, but you don't know if there's a reliable postal service at the other end. If I'm going somewhere like, I don't know, say for example, if I'm going like to Greece, I don't know how I'm meant to get that there without it getting lost. Because I can't even send things to my friend over there without it getting lost. Like, my poster's gonna get lost, and then I turn up and there's no poster. Like, it's too risky. It's too risky. Imagine having follow alerts during your conference presentations. Don't. I would actually like that, but I would not. I don't know. I like the distraction occasionally. Imagine having quacks. I actually would stream my defense. I think that'd be really funny. But alas, the university probably would not let me. I will ask though. Imagine dealing with ads during your conference presentations. Don't give them ideas, Pasika. Don't give them ideas. They will do that. Trying to get someone to explain their delusion is one of the most confusing things. We tend to be more focused on trying to get them back into reality by focusing on something that they can recognize like a clock. Yeah, because the thing is, when there's delusions, like there's the logic is just operating on a different level. Like if you think that you're logical, that's great, but they also think that they're logical. They just have a different level of logic. Like it's just different. it's an experience, to be honest. Yeah. Do you think you're good at poster designs? I don't. No, I don't. I've been told that they're like better than average, but I think that I still do that thing where I try and cram in too much information. And I also, I'm not very good at like placing like charts and stuff in a nice way and like putting headings and stuff in good places. The thing that I think I'm pretty good at is color. Like, I'm pretty good at making the color theming consistent and making that look nice, but everything else I struggle with. You have the poster printed in the conference location. No, that's so expensive. You can't do that. Also, my university didn't expense that. I had to get it done like by our printers, and it would be like €15. Or I could go to the other end and have to pay like €30 out of my own pocket. Like, it's not happening. I'm not doing that. I have to take it with me. It's a pain. Yeah, also finding a poster printing place near the site is always painful. That is very true. I still carry a zip drive with me just in case. Yeah, I do that too. I keep it on my laptop. I take my laptop and I keep it on my laptop so that, like, worst case scenario, I could just stand there with my laptop. But thankfully that's never happened. I did also see somebody actually at a conference this year, like, their poster got lost when they posted it, and they just basically like kind of attempted to hand draw it. It was very cute. Like, I really liked the aesthetic of it personally. It didn't look like any of the others, and I really lived for it, to be honest. It was great. You're welcome back, Richard. Welcome back. Part of me wants to get together with other psychologists and some game devs and make a game to educate people on psychology. That's literally like one of my life goals. I would love to do that. One of my projects eventually that I want to do once, you know, the PhD's out the way is to make a game that teaches people about misinformation, but like a visual novel. I think that'd be really fun. I think that'd be good. Okay. I think this is the last slide. Let me check. How do I check? Oh no, there's one more. Okay. There's one more after this. Okay, so. Sorry for the background noise. Okay, so final year of the PhD. So, at my minute, I am in my final year of my PhD, and most of my days are literally just writing my thesis. I don't really do anything else anymore. I do a little bit of writing papers, and I do a little bit of funding applications, but most of the funding applications are for my part-time job. They're not actually for my thesis. So yeah, that's the life. I still apply to conferences, so I am going to a conference this year. I still have meetings with my advisor, like monthly check-ins, just to see how I'm doing. But yeah, it's pretty much just writing. There's not really much else. And yeah, I do also have a part-time job because my funding ran out. We only get 3 years of funding, and a PhD takes 4 years. So I'm working part-time and hilariously getting paid more than I did with my stipend for 1 day a week. So that's good. Still not much though. Still not much. It's still a 1 day a week wage. So, you know, about what you'd probably expect for that. That's a mood. Yeah, it's kind of painful. Kind of painful. You might want to hand over to the game design docs. Yeah, there are actually people that have doctorates in like good game design, and I think it would be really cool to get together a whole bunch of people with like kind of adjacent expertise and do something together. But I don't know if that would like it. It's really hard to find people who stream and who have an interest in doing that kind of like semi-academic project. But also, admittedly, I haven't really tried yet, but it's on the list of things that I want to do eventually. Since I'm like leaving academia, I think that there's a lot of fun things that I could do on stream that are kind of like academia adjacent, if that makes sense. That like kind of call back to like doing research or teaching or developing resources or stuff like that. But yeah, hit me up when your game design starts. Let's go, Nico. We're gonna make that happen. Gonna make it happen. That time when they defund the university for rich guys' tax breaks, don't even get me started. Hardest thing about making good educational games is that they have to be good games. Oh yes, fundamentally that is the biggest issue. Yeah, a lot of them are painful. I wanted to start by like making a visual novel because there's a Python-based visual novel engine that I can absolutely learn how to do because I don't know Python, but I can read it and understand it, and I'm confident I could teach myself it. So that's on my list. Yeah, RenPy, that's the one. That's the one. But I want to start by like doing that as a personal project first, and then expanding out into other things. But yeah, I'm leaving academia. I can't be bothered with it. It's too insecure. Like, especially where I am in Ireland, like if you stay in academia, you basically have to be teaching 4 days a week. And I don't enjoy teaching. I'm definitely a research person. But I think that the kind of research that I want to do is probably better placed outside of academia anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I could also do an entire stream just talking about that. That's a whole thing too. There's reasons for that. But yeah, academia was like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate it, but it's not really my kind of long-term trajectory, what I want from life, I think. I'm more interested in like working in the non-profit sector or like doing like social enterprises where it's like private industry technically, but it's like with a non-profit orientation, trying to do good in the world, that kind of thing. That's a lot more interesting to me. What kind of research? I'm really interested in doing policy research. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do that in academia. You kind of have to at least do some basic science. Like, I'm not opposed to doing basic science, but like I would like to do more policy work, and then yeah, kind of working on like giant team science projects. I find that really fun too. So like being a project manager. So I'm trying to gear more towards that. So I wouldn't be like entirely like removed from anything academic. Like, I'm not going to go full like industry, but I don't want to be in the academic ecosphere. Like, I want to be able to take a step back from things if it's too intense, if that makes sense. Do the stream where you talk about leaving academia, please. Will do. The postdoc treadmill would kill me. That's part of it, to be honest. That is part of it. But again, that's a stream for another day. That's a whole stream. Okay, right. Oh, that was the last slide. Okay. That was the last slide. Thank you for watching my talk about doing a PhD. I hope you've learned something interesting about what our daily lives are like. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna put that away now and then move over here. There we go. Okay, the alerts are back. Go do your thing. Have fun. Do your thing. Let me turn the background music back up a bit again. It was super fun and fascinating. Thank you. I'm glad. Quack. Quack indeed. Quack indeed. Yeah, indeed. I shouldn't have said anything. Oh my gosh. I discovered your stuff because you're doing mostly what I'm going to be doing eventually. Granted, I'm clinical psychology. I imagine my PhD experience will be similar. Yeah, no, definitely. I think regardless of the field, a lot of PhDs have a lot of things in common. Thank you for the posture check and hydrate. There you go. I'm sat up straight. I've got good posture and I'm moisturized and in my lane and flourishing. Or at least I will be once I'm out of academia. A pity I could only join at the end. Well, thank you for joining, Doc Rect. Thank you for popping by and catching the tail end of it, because it means a lot that you dropped by. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've got nothing else planned. That was kind of it. So, and also I've been streaming a lot longer than I expected to. Moisturize Me is in fact a Doctor Who reference. Don't. Cassandra gave me actual like nightmares when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't even that young when it came out. I was like, I don't know, maybe I was like early teens, but there was something about her that it's like body horror, isn't it? It's like Cronenberg horror. Like, she's just horrible. Like, it's like transhumanism gone wrong, gone, I hope not sexual. Like, good lord. I did discover that social work programs and clinical psychology programs are like 80% interchangeable in a lot of US facilities. That's really interesting to me. Yeah, that you can't do that. You can't do that in the UK. They are very, very distinct and very, very different things. But yeah. What do you think of the Bayesian brain theory? Is that the theory that like the way that we process information is more similar to Bayesian updating than anything else? If yes, I think if we were not emotional or identity orientated, it would make sense. But it kind of ignores the fact that how we think about ourselves massively influences how we think about things, you know? I guess you could just see it as a bias in the processing, but I don't know. Not sure. Not sure, basically. Maybe. Yeah, yes, with an asterisk. With a very big asterisk. my Bayesian probability estimate would be like, I don't know, 40%, but if it's including biases for emotions and social identity, then maybe I'd up it to like 60%. How's that? Is that an answer? Is it a Doctor Who villain if the random thing doesn't suddenly make a new phobia? That's so true. The other one that really, really freaked me out when I was a kid was the like the gas mask kid. You know, the one that's like, "Are you my mummy?" Oh no. No. I had nightmares about that for literally like years, and I had to do exposure therapy on myself. I had to go back and watch it like as an adult to realize, okay, actually, like this is kind of creepy, but it's not that bad. But there was something about it that just really got me. Freaking snow globes, don't. Please stop. Please stop. Too many core memories being unlocked. Oh, I almost forgot. Have you heard of The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat? I have indeed. I read it a very, very long time ago. God, I want to say like 10 years ago, which makes me feel old. But yes, I have heard of it. At some point, again, when I have a bit more brain capacity, I want to do like book clubs where we like read through kind of classic psychology texts like that. Because like I've read that one, but a lot of them I haven't. Like I've never... Okay, so Freud is more philosophy than psychology, but I've never read any Freud. And I think it would be really interesting to do like a book club that's like The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, or like, yeah, or like Freudian texts or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, that's for the future. For now, it will just continue being yapping and unhinged lectures every now and then, and random games and art sometimes. And co-working, so much co-working. Speaking of which, the next stream will be tomorrow. I'm going to be co-working again. I think I'm aiming to start at like maybe 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. like UK and Ireland time, but I can't promise it. Sometimes things come up in the morning and I've got admin to do and it takes me a minute to get ready. Whoa, what was that? What? Oh. Whoa. I don't know what that was. Hi, Sango. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you too. It's very much evening though. Also, you've come right as I'm ending the stream. But thank you for dropping by. I hope you're doing well. Did you just have an earthquake or something? No, I moved my hand in front of my face. The face tracking go burr. It's it's the research is causing tremors. Oh my gosh, that's so true actually. Yeah, one of my many like face tracking failures. I don't know what's going on with it. It's like, okay, like that was me like adjusting. Like I don't know what's going on. Guide the raid. No, Sango, I'm so sorry. I forgot to say I'm already doing a raid to somebody today. There was someone I know is doing a debut. Wait, have they done a debut? Was that today? Yeah, no, someone I know is doing a debut. So I will remember, I'm going to make a note of that person. I'm going to redeem your points. Okay, I'll do it next time. Okay. We'll do it next time. Wait, let me make a note of this because otherwise I'll forget. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. We'll do it next time. Husmod gave me the suggestion. What? Did Husbando suggest somebody? There's like someone that I've been meaning to raid into ages, who is a former professor of sociology, and also taught anthropology. So I feel like this is actually very relevant to this stream. And I can see that he's talking about his experience as a professor right now. So I think this is a very good time to go and raid in. So it's good timing, I think. But yeah, he's debuting his live 2D model and it looks so good. It looks really, really good. So let's wait, I need to wait. Okay, I've moved the thing. Right, so raid message. There you go, there's the raid message. Actually, I think today, let's do an extra thing on the end. Let's do an extra thing on the end today. Congratulations on the debut. Let me find. Where's my copyrighted orange heart? Where is it? I've lost it. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. This is going very well. How do I search? I'm having a boomer moment. Oh, there it is. Found it. There we go. This is the raid message we're doing today. We're doing a nice little debut raid message. Food guesser? No food guesser today, no. I need to actually go and guess some real food in real life because I haven't had dinner yet. So, yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching the stream. If anyone didn't manage to catch it but wants to, I will eventually edit it down and put it on YouTube. Can't promise when. I am like 4 months behind or something ridiculous like that on my VODs alone, let alone the editing. I'm currently editing my November and December stream highlights. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, let's go and say hello to when I actually managed to do it. This is the wrong one. There we go. Come on. Let's not be a boomer. I feel like I'm doing that thing that like lecturers do where they're like, yes, I know what I'm doing, and then they like use Bing to search for Google. I feel like I'm kind of doing that right now. But yeah, let's go say hello to Almantis VT. There we go. Start the raid. There we go. There we go. I should apply as a junior video editor. You know what? I wish that I could like give you money for that, because genuinely it would be really helpful, but I can't, which is a shame. But yes, there's the raid message. So let's go and say hi to Almantis. Yeah, I've been lurking in Almantis's streams for a while, and he does a lot of like educational streams, which is very, very cool. We love that. And I like his vibe. It's very chill. So yeah, I think we should go say hi. You don't have money, I don't have skills. Perfect. High five. What a dream team. What a dream team. Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, everybody. I hope you all have a lovely day or evening or night or morning or whatever it is where you are. Next stream will be tomorrow. 3 streams in a row, wild. We're going to be doing Pomodoro co-working, and I have a discussion section to write, and then I'm done with another thesis chapter, so I would very much appreciate emotional support with that. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, of course, Husbando, for moderating, as always. Thankfully, chat was very chill, so you didn't really have to do much, but we appreciate him regardless. And yeah, see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Bye!